So yeah, second semifinals between Joe and More. Gonna be played as the first map on Hubley Balance Patch 2.0 on Anatolia. And the gods are gonna be for Joe Isis, well of course is his favorite god, and for More Oranos the same, also his favorite god, so basically the best gods. Let's see how it's gonna be working. Joe is choosing the map first, so that's gonna be his Anatolia of course there. So let's start and have a look how this is gonna be. Well, that's a quite nice start for him. He had to be happy about, of course, having both gold mines at the backside for himself. It's gonna be making things a bit easier for him. Overall, quite definitely, as he's coming, of course, for the right side, that is gonna expect it. All around us, on the way, he is also gonna be discovering the second TC, which is kinda normal position. That is how actually Anatolia spawns. So that's pretty much what we can talk about here on this part of the map so far. He's also coming with the priest to the right so that he sees if maybe there's gonna be some better position for his dog. Let's see where he's gonna be placing it. Well, still no fishies. There are fishies. So he's gonna be dropping a dog about here. Yeah, basically you want to go quite a bit south as much as you can, especially since he's discovered another threesome right there. And then be having the dog right next to the fishies, because that will allow you on Titans as an Egyptian, well, and not just as an Egyptian, as anybody. You can see already dropping the dog exactly there. Basically even gather resources from the fishies, even if you are under attack. Because the dogs shoot, so opponent is inevitably gonna be trying to evade them. And if he does, then you can just deploy the fishy or other fishing boats here again and continue gathering even if you are under attack. So that's exactly the reason why especially Egyptians are strong, because they can produce dogs as mad, as they are not really all that expensive, and they can even build them with them fishing boats, of course. Let's switch into the point of view of More, who has already scouted quite a bit, quite nicely. You can see he basically is well aware that his opponent is gonna be on the right water, and alright, he has went against the stream and against the current, or how to call it in English, right now I'm not sure. He's gonna be coming for the water on the left side, and then only later coming for the right water. Yeah, just now discovered that Joe is choosing the right one, but basically, as you would be expecting for both players, that is gonna be quite fine as far as actually water battle goes. So for him, he's having, well, even though he's giving more frontier goals, I don't know how to call it, more in front. The one on the left is potentially slightly tricky because he doesn't have the tower from this approach point, though he could of course potentially wall if he wants to. Though Atlantean walling, that's like 1 in a million. And on the top side, this gold is completely safe, not only between the towers and the TC, but also quite nicely blocked by the trees. But question is, I actually think that chariots will be able to shoot from behind the tree line quite fine on the citizens, maybe even on the bottom side. That's very well possible. Very well possible if that were to happen. Let's see if it's gonna be happening. And at this point we pretty much see everything that the players are looking at. And we are looking at what More was unhappy about. He claims that this map is completely unfair and complete crap. And that is like the worst map imaginable. And to be honest, I don't see any reason for that claim. From point of view that I'm right now looking at, I would even argue that it's a better map for him. Because this gold is inevitably, and without any kind of discussion, the best gold in the game. And it's his, without any question whatsoever. Like, what is Joe gonna be doing with this gold? Like, what? He doesn't have a TC there. It's gonna be just basically place a palace there, and you're absolutely happy. You have protection from the wood line on the right, on the left as well. You can just easily wall it. That's really good gold for More. Unusually gold for how the Anatolia spawn. And the TCs, that's completely fair. That's absolutely completely fair, both of them. Like, what do you really want? Basically, with how they are spawned, if you actually look at this map, what is the obvious thing to do if you are More at this point? Is, if you want this TC, then no, you don't take this one, you take this one. Because they are within one screen, they are very close to each other. And if you can get this TC, then you can get this TC as well at the same time, without any kind of question whatsoever. And that means that if you get this TC, you completely screw the Egyptian over. He loses this gold, and he's completely basically screwed. So I really don't see what the problem for More is. But this is basically one of the really better spawns that I have seen lately. And I would really seriously argue that because of this gold, it's actually better map for More than for Joe. Even though Joe is of course gonna be having quite nice access to this TC, and if he can get it, he's getting this gold as well. But if Joe, or rather if More does get at least this TC, he's always gonna be annoying on this gold as well. So I really don't see what More is complaining about at all. Like, literally at all. I really don't see it. Because you can see even when you look at the middle of the map, the golds are literally on the middle straight. Now let's bring up the huge map. Well, not entirely better visible, but anyway, maybe it is. You can see the middle of the map is somewhere around here. So the golds are literally on the middle of the map, all of them. And the only gold that is coming for one player is for more, this one on the left, whereas Joe is having nothing like that. His only advantage on the gold is those two starting ones that are basically unraidable. That is an advantage, quite obviously. Otherwise, yeah, I really don't see it more. Sorry, I really don't see it. What you are so unhappy about in this map. I really think it's a pretty good map. Let's see how it's gonna be developing. As at this point, he's already coming for the attack, as of course both players are gonna be on both sides. One not finished on the right side, so more can be continuing with any kind of fight against his opponent, who of course is not gonna be expecting it all that much, because he hasn't seen the dogs there, and he is gonna be probably quite surprised. I'm just looking also at some relics in the meantime. Grugnir, that's better hoplite and spearman and whatever. Anti-cavalry infantry and better human soldier pierce armor. That's a pretty good relic. That's always gonna be useful, as Mor is doing a pretty good thing in here. Of course, with all of those oracles and of course with the Promethean as well. So Mor, well, you are just basically completely though missing the point of how the game is played. If you let him to get into Mythic, you are the one making the mistake. You are the one who screw up the game for yourself. That's the whole point. You shouldn't let him to get into a situation that you think you are going to lose. Because this map is completely fair. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. And you just need to scout it properly and use proper tactics. I'm really curious what's gonna happen in this game. Because I really completely don't see why you should be so unhappy about it. So right now you are playing really well indeed at the very start, as you're concentrating of course on this side with plenty of BRMS. With even Snake is coming forward. Yeah, that's exactly what you would be expecting right now on the waters, that Anubis has really taken off quite a bit. And that is, I'm thinking it's actually mostly because of the vanilla tournaments, because Snakies in vanilla are really good. And in Titans, they have been kind of forgotten. Haven't been really used like almost at all. But from about the last half year, or maybe a year, since actually the vanilla tournaments are being played, then they are definitely coming into meta, and they are used way more often, and they are really powerful on the water. So yep, it is worth it to even give a bust if you can be getting the Snakies for the water battles, because of course it gives you some kind of extra pressure and a bit of more extra time if you actually need to. So Mor is still continuing with abusing the left side of the water, trying to also right now trying to do something with the right one, as of course he should, because he should be forcing his opponent of course to fight at as many places as possible. And well, oh well, that's gonna be Armory coming forward, as Joe still does have the villager in the position in here. And he is doing a pretty good job of that, as Anubis going for a bit of raiding. That's kind of another thing that is actually interesting about overall Anubis, as the Anubites are not such a half-bad unit for raiding. Especially for raiding, they're actually really good. This special attack doesn't really work, of course, against the heroes. Is quite effective against, for example, citizens and really any kind of villagers. As Joe is coming right now for the prosperity, gonna be getting plenty of gold, and apparently gonna be though aiming into the heroic age as well then. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. The secondary economy on the right side is exactly what it's allowing it. He doesn't even have Pursain, as still he's gonna be advancing into the heroic age, as Mor is investing quite significantly into the water on the left side. He should be probably also investing a bit more into the right. I'm slightly worried that he's basically underestimating the power of the second water quite a bit, because of course if his opponent can be having those 6-9 fishing boats right there without any kind of disturbance, without actually him having the same, I mean, like, that's obvious what's gonna happen. His opponent is gonna be obviously having faster heroic time and having better economy. You can see right now he's coming for the second DC, as he realizes that there's not gonna be any kind of land push. So that's a good reaction to all the situation in here. And basically, yeah, Mor, you didn't scout this, and you could have gone for the second DC as well. You didn't, so yeah, tough luck, I guess. Now let's see, maybe he's still gonna be able to salvage it somehow. But with the heroic age coming forward, it's gonna be really hard for him. But I would be expecting that Mor won't be really all that far behind either. His economy should be pretty solid as an Atlantean. Now let's see how he's gonna be coming. As right now, he's gonna be, of course, having a hard time getting rid of the docks without the heroic age, as with the threesome in here, it's gonna be resulting into heavy losses, and that's gonna be resulting also into continued economy, exactly as I was talking about it at the very start of the map. Okay, so Atlantean Prometheans gonna getting slaughtered by the Anubite. It's a very nice micro by Joe, because this is still the starting one that he got from the temple for free. And he's doing so much damage all across the map and basically luring all those oracles right behind him. So nicely played. And finally more is concentrating a bit more on the right water. So very nicely done. And finally he could be also punishing him on the economy in there. Those little Prometheans discovering that TC is already done. And he's gonna be having kind of hard time right now with this TC, obviously. Because this combination is always gonna be about who gets the first TC for himself, and the second one is gonna be trickier, because of course the extra shooting, the fallback options, the defensive options for him, yeah, that's always gonna be in there. But anyway, it was quite gutsy play actually by Joe. You don't often see Egyptians playing that aggressively. He recognized the situation absolutely correctly. Usually you see Egyptians go in first for the second TC, then go in heroic age for Migdol, and only then get in the town center. In the middle, because it's usually quite risky. But right now he basically correctly recognized that Mor is quite engaged in the water and doesn't really go for the land aggression as you quite sometimes Atlanteans see to go. And he just thought that it's gonna be worth it, and it seems that so far it is actually working rather well. And with the Isis monument here blocking any kind of god powers here, there's not gonna be any shockwave available, or even Valor will have to be cast somewhere a bit farther away. Okay, so, oh, that's a costly loss. That Murmillo hero, that hurt. I think that was the second Murmillo hero here as well. That was a shine in somewhere. I think he actually lost 2 Murmillo heroes. Gonna be losing a third one. Oh, certainly. 3 Murmillo heroes dead just like that. Well, that's not good. That's definitely not good, as Miguel is gonna be coming here. Well, that definitely makes sense, because right now Joe is recognizing that it's not gonna be that easy for this part of the map. He's gonna be right now hoping that he can actually right now build quite a solid forward base for himself in that. But he is also at the same time hoping for only 1 gold mine and not giving it proper protection, to be honest. Because right now if Mor takes the TC at the bottom, you're gonna be having very good chance of still exactly like this annoying this gold, for example from behind the T-line, like by Archive or something like that. So there is definitely possibility. But you can see that Mor fighting on the water, not really that efficiently. You can see it right now, even some siege boats and Leviathan gonna be destroying him. He is winning at least the left water through the help from the land, so very nice job of that. So his economy is gonna be continuing in there, but he's having very hard struggle to advance into the heroic age, as he is still about 550 foot, and we are at about 11 minutes and still no heroic age for him. He does have a second TC though, so that's very important for him, as his economy is gonna be getting of course stronger. He does have plenty of military buildings prepared. Right now gonna be also clicking into the heroic age. He does have Plow, and otherwise Pursein is already there, so that's good, and Pursein is also there for Joe finally. That's gonna be of course helping quite significantly as siege works being prepared for Joe so that he can push forward somehow. Anyway, right now Mora should be really somehow trying to control his TC as much as possible, because that's gonna be potentially the next threat. But he also does have an opening, because if he can control the gold mines, the other gold mines, which are all on basically middle and the other side of the map, then Joe is gonna be having problem once he runs out of this one. And it's inevitably gonna be running out after like 10 minutes, something like that maybe. At about 20-minute mark, I'm thinking he's gonna be already gone. Already way gone. Well, it's gonna be way before gone, as I'm looking at it about now. That wasn't really a good guess at all by me. As the trade is probably gonna be starting sometime soon as well. You can see Joe also helping himself. Yeah, it's gonna be market. Helping himself a bit with some more piggies for himself, as he's having only one side of the water and he still has to at least slightly fight for it, but probably not for much longer, as the Leviathan with the Warbarge were able to get rid of the dock that was built there. Alright, so Joe is apparently gonna be the one who will be attempting to control the TC of his opponent in there. So that's of course quite nicely played. He's playing quite aggressively today. That's not usual. It's not usual for Joe. To be completely honest, usually is the one who kind of starts a bit more from the defensive and then develops, and also never does fortify TC. That's kind of the staple for him, for what I actually remember him, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be coming a bit later. But yeah, well, here he's doing a pretty good job because he will be denying quite significantly this TC, at least for the time being. And the combination of a few elephants with all the chariot archers seems to be really good. And I would be really liking Palace about here. Yes, exactly. That's very well played. And it's very well played because that's what I was talking about like a minute ago. That if he can block the extra gold mines from his opponent completely, then the situation is gonna be really difficult. Especially if he can also slightly sneak somewhere to the back. Maybe even through the water. And try to disrupt the market that is inevitably going to come as well. So here we go. He's also switching into a few medium Kontarai. As he will probably go for a bit more raiding with the heroes. And with Lance of Stone once he's actually gonna be having that. And he does have Copper Shields, gonna be helping against all the chariots. Whereas the Isis is not having really anything like that so far. And he is of course eating through the gold like mad. You can see 3,500, so he definitely has to start a trade as soon as possible. Because at this point it seems really kinda unlikely that he would be having some easy access to the second gold somewhere in the middle. So far he does have some chances in there, but Ancestors are still available, but they are without Eclipse, so they are gonna be considerably weaker. Considerably weaker indeed. And this Symphonian Bird and a few Hero Turmas could be getting rid of them quite fine. Otherwise we are kinda missing upgrades, for example, into medium Murmilos. Though, those horses are not a bad idea at all. They're actually a very good idea against all of this, because they're having solid armor, 32% pierce armor, and much more importantly, they can get into those chariot archers a whole lot faster, of course. It's of course their significant strength. And the combination of those two types of horses with Turmas and Kontarai, that has to be kind of scary right now for Joe, because he doesn't really know what to do against that. He will have to switch into the barracks quite significantly to produce a whole lot more spearmen, as he's coming into Osiris already, with more advancing into Hecate as well, so that's gonna be very good advance time for him. And otherwise, oh well, Hendax, Pickaxe, Plow could be going a whole lot better. As for the opponent, we're gonna be expecting at least... and we will be wrong. I would be expecting at least a shaft mine, but no, he said the Hendax and Pickaxe as well. So the economies are absolutely the same for both players. Siege Wrecks are attempted to be sneakily built by Joe. That's a very nice sneak build by him. And Mor probably has no idea. Or right now he does. Yeah, right now he does. So this one villager is probably gonna be paying for his insolence, I would be expecting. And this human soldier pierce armor. Like, this is an absolutely great relic when you are fighting against chariot archers. That's an invaluable relic, actually. Just get it as soon as possible. That's really good. To be helping quite a ton. As it will be increasing your defense against all of those types of attacks. As of course at this point we are looking at pretty solid army growing for Joe. He does have the Pharaoh hiding in there at the back with one of the priests against potential units. Well, maybe you could be killing, for example, this Symphonian Bird and just loafing around will be maybe useful. And finally they are realizing that there is job to be done for them. Some other barracks are being built, and they are of course gonna be quite helpful in producing exactly what we are expecting. And these are gonna be spearmen, and maybe looking at the destroyers, also axemen. The axemen should be probably right now coming up soon quite as well, as the Tatareng is gonna be cast here. Well, right into the middle of all the villages and ancestors coming forward. That's an interesting choice. I'll be thinking it might be slightly better to maybe wait a bit and destroy the market a bit later, but this I definitely do understand as well, because the chance is you might be killing plenty of villagers, and if it survives long enough, you might be also killing the town center, and not only one, but maybe also the second one, because the range of those beasts, the Tartarian spawn, is quite solid. So it's not really such a bad placement, it's actually quite a solid one, even if it doesn't delete all that many buildings right off the bat. As here we are, actually the siege works did finish, so Mor wasn't able to stop that in full. Son of Osiris is gonna be quite big of a problem. Quite a big problem, as this spot is actually very nicely positioned. It's very nice base building right now by Joe, because there is, well, don't try to destroy the barracks in there. There is a very natural choke point that actually Mor has to go through. And he's of course having all kinds of problems in this world to go through that. Is it like stuck there? It seems that it's actually stuck in the middle, or is it? Let's see if it's actually able to move, because right now it seems that it's stuck in the building. for some reason. It's kinda curious, as right now, of course, the mummy is coming forward to try and destroy some units. Can he actually destroy the Semifinal Ember? I don't know, but he definitely did get killed by one of the beasts. Yeah, it was blocked there. Yeah, it was stuck into the barracks. Not entirely certain how that actually happened. That's very rare here. It can happen on Age of Empires quite a lot more often. But here, sometimes it happens with, of course, for example, villages on gold. But that is an extended edition thing. In extended edition, it happens fairly often. Rather often. Fairly regularly, that's better said. As of course right now the Son of Osiris is quite a damage, or rather quite a problematic dude. As even Champion Turmas, well, that's a rare sight to behold only. Sorry about that sucky English in there. Pierce armor for him, whereas for the opponent we are looking at absolutely nothing. So yeah, well, those champion or rather heavy destroyers probably gonna be coming into champions pretty soon as well. Are definitely doing that job. And the situation is getting quite problematic for Joe at this point. As you can see, that even the score is quite high. However, he's going to be trying to rectify that by stealing the front EC from Moore, as apparently Moore is not really paying any kind of attention through the bottom, unfortunately. He's only pushing through the middle and not having any kind of proper scouting on the top side. And with Migdol right next to it, if both are gonna be finishing right now the extra population limit, and of course the Migdol reinforcing that with spam of mercenaries already from here if he actually needs to, it is getting into a realm of very hard for Moore to handle. Because even though he is quite nicely occupying the golds in the middle, and right now even basically getting rid of them by mining them, it seems there's gonna be another attempt from the top side by Joe, trying to get this gold mine, and it seems that it might be really succeeding, because he does have plenty of villagers to get rid of the citizen, and he already does have the siege work, so probably gonna be dropping Amygdala right here pretty soon. Pretty soon indeed. As you can right now see the 400 in them. He definitely does have enough resources for it, but the question is if he actually wants to spare them now, because he doesn't have upgrades. He doesn't have literally any upgrades whatsoever right now, Joe. Whereas his opponent is upgrading very well indeed. The champion Argyle still only the pierce armor, but otherwise it's kinda alright, especially compared to his opponent, as Joe is finally getting some copper weapons for his units. But his unit of strength and weapon of strength is, or rather, are gonna be extra units from all the population limit that he's having above his opponent. And of course, as an ISIS, it's gonna be even worse at 192. And he's fully popped, whereas his opponent, Moore, is gonna be only at 140, and he's not even there. So of course, he's gonna be losing units in pretty much throngs, sending them a bit more into the meat grinder. Meat grinder right there. Yeah, they just basically get there, and they get absolutely leveled. You can see two basically killed one. Two Kontara against one Chariotache, but that's always going to be the case if you are fighting against high numbers quite a bit. And the Son of Osiris, of course, that's yeah, pretty much an execution row right about now. Oh well, if you see those three coming down just in once, this guy, that is always a problem on any kind of map. But anyway, the top side seems to be not really working as well for Joe as I would be expecting, as apparently he wasn't paying attention. If he was, then this should have happened basically the other way around. So Moore did pay more attention himself, so he's sending a few dryads there. Gonna be blocking it by military barracks as well, so that he does have a few units. So he does block the gold quite well, whereas at the bottom in the middle, the gold, he doesn't really need to block it anymore because it's almost off. But well, the trade is already up as well, so definitely Moore should be doing something about it and trying to block it as much as possible. Because the time is definitely running out for him, but mustn't forget that Joe, even though he's popped, he doesn't have all that much of a trade cards yet, or other trade caravans. You can see just literally a few, and he is still relying on normal gold, which is just basically right now out for him. So at this point, he is significantly screwed actually. He is actually significantly screwed because he doesn't have where to get gold. He just needs to sell a whole ton of it, which can keep him alive for a bit. But if he cannot get the trade going, and if Moore could somehow stop it, well, the game might suddenly turn very sour for him, even with all the PCs, because he wouldn't be able to really pop himself at all. And the Dryads are definitely quite invaluable help for Moore, but unfortunately it seems like with losing all the palaces and apparently not having all that many backups, like for example here where we expected it a bit before, it seems that he's gonna be having quite a significant problem standing still somewhere in the middle and not really falling back, as basically just the sheer numbers are going to be working quite well for Joe, even without any kind of upgrades whatsoever. He's having only copper shields, copper weapons, but absolutely no line upgrades whatsoever, like really none upgrades in there. for the line of the soldiers. Whereas the opponent, More is having champion Archive, quite nice. Bronze shields and copper weapons for him, and that's basically the only reason why he's still staying alive, because otherwise the numbers are not there, but the upgrades are, and that's the importance of upgrades, how they can be keeping you alive against seemingly insurmountable odds. Okay, some Kontari just scouting somewhere. Well, at this point they were pretty much... Oh well, that's gonna be a good trade. Yeah, right now Joe is recognizing that he needs a bit more efficient trade, and that maybe the one at the top side is not exactly the best one. And since he does control this TC, there's not much of a reason why not send it all the way to the bottom to this TC. It's gonna be very good for him, but also it's gonna be a bit riskier, because More could be easier get in there. Easier get in there and maybe even stop it in full, as finally heavy chariots are coming forward. That's the first line upgrade coming forward. Maybe on the spearman. Ah well, he has actually medium spearman already. So the second line upgrade coming forward, but More, yeah, he wasn't really looking in any kind of good shape at this point, and Joe was definitely taking the full initiative. Well, he already took it at very early game, to be honest. Once he started to go for the aggressive TC, that was already taking initiative, and how the game is gonna go. It was well recognized by him, and he was able to actually push through More quite fine. Especially since More wasn't really paying attention to this TC at the bottom, and let it be stolen fairly easily. Fairly easily, to be honest. Especially when it was kind of obvious play that's gonna happen, especially since he knew about it. As soon as he saw the siege wares coming right next to the TC, that Joe is having that kind of thought. But anyway, that is it. And the first game is gonna be coming for Joe then. Let's check into the post game. Alright, so Joe is gonna be having most of it, but More was having more upgrades. Well, that was obvious, we have seen that. That was the reason why he was able to stay in the game. So otherwise the economy is fairly similar, just 4,000 more for Slinger in the gold department in there, or for 3.5. But otherwise the wood and food were pretty much the same. Well, each of them were having one side of the water, so kinda goes to figure. You can see the efficiency military count 207 only killed 135. And kind of the opposite for Joe. It was exactly the story of the battle in the choke point, and that's exactly how you should be avoiding choke points if you are trying to fight against archers. And if you are fighting with archers, you want the choke points. They are really good. They really help you in tactics and in the battles. Yeah, the research is not that much different in the end, but More was having them much stronger and much faster. And Joe invested a bit more into the economy, it seemed like. GG.